Welcome to Granny's Legacy Patterns. Today I'm going to be sharing with you about adding a crochet edge around the edge of your projects that you've blanket stitched around. So our example here today is this beautiful pumpkin pie mat that Mom stitched. And around the edge, as you can see, we have a beautiful crochet detail. And so to do this, the first thing you need to do is you blanket stitch around the edge of your mat, keeping your stitches close together and shallow, and then you go back and do the crochet. So for our demo today, I'll be working on this little sample I have here. And as you can see, the stitches are close together and shallow. This is so that the crocheting turns out nice and even. And then on the back, when we blanket stitched, we were very careful and did not clip our knots. We want to make sure we leave our knots in place until we're done crocheting. This is so that our crocheting does not pull out our blanket stitching. So let's get started. I have a beautiful ball of Valdani pearl cotton here, and I have it threaded with just a little tail. And to get going, I'm going to, where I want my thread to come out, right here is where I want to start. I'm going to insert my needle between the layers and then come into my project. So as you can see, my stitching doesn't show because it's fished between the layers. And then I'm just going to tie a little knot. And this knot will be getting clipped off later. This is just for to hold things in place for now. And if it's not quite tight to the fabric, it's okay because we'll just pull it tight there. And now we're ready to get started. I am using a fine crochet hook, a size 1.5 or 1 3/4 would work well for this project, or even a 2. You can experiment because with tension yours might be different than ours. And the Valdani size 12 pearl cotton. So we're going to insert our hook, and just to get started, we're going to yarn over and pull through. And then we're going to go to the next, yarn over, pull through, and go through our 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, and through 2 loops. Next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and go through 2 loops. If you have done wider stitches and you find that your crochet stitch is not lining nice and flat, you may find that you need to do 2 stitches in each blanket stitch to keep your edging nice and even. The other options are, this is just simply crochet. Depending on your crochet skills or what you might want to learn, you could also create a little bit of a lace effect by making picots or just chaining a couple times between each stitch. Might create kind of a fun look. Or you could go around multiple times and add layers to your crocheted edging. The possibilities really are endless with crochet. So go in, pull through, and pull through 2. So that is how you add a gorgeous crocheted edge to the edge of your mat. And I think it creates just a really nice finished accent edge. Okay, as you can see, I am nearing the end. I'm down to my last few stitches. So I'll go ahead and get those in place, and then I will show you how to end, tie off, and complete. So I'm going into my last stitch now. And as you can see, I still have kind of a little start stop, but if I go back into my first stitch and just do a slip stitch, you should be good to go. And then I'm going to take and snip my thread. I'm going to pull my loop a little bigger because I don't want to lose my loop. Snip my thread, and then pull my tail through the loop. And that creates just a tiny little knot. I'm going to thread my needle again. And then kind of once again, sneak down through my stitch in between the layers so you don't see my needle on the front and the back. Come back up, pull my thread. Then I'm just gonna, this pulled a little tight, so I'm just gonna kind of nudge that back up where I want it. And then we're gonna go with our steam iron and just steam over the top of this really well. And what that's gonna do is we wanna make sure we're ironing our threads where they went between the layers really well, and our fusible from when we applied our back will stick to our threads really well and lock them in place. And then once everything's locked in place, we can take our scissor and remove all of our knots and tails. And you are left with an absolutely gorgeous project that's crocheted around the edge. So we hope this inspires you to try something new and add just a little extra to your next woolly project.